I would like to now call on John Reid, the head of the Environment Studio at the Australian National University. John has been working in issues of the environment for many years and set up the Environmental Studio, which has now become a model for other similar studios set up internationally. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet, for the introduction, and good morning, everybody. My experience of ceramicists, in my experience, ceramicists know how to bake clay, prepare fabulous food, and thirdly, put on a great triennale. And what a privilege to have a conversation with so many artists today, so thank you so much for the invitation. It's blank. So there is much happening in the space occupied by creative artists working on the environment as subject matter in their artwork. And I'm sure you're aware of this, and especially in the light of presentations already made at this triennale, and also familiar with the proposition that creative artists have much to contribute to the community agenda in shaping a future that is worth living for generations to come. Now, I don't intend to canvass further the contemporary state of play in these respects. For this presentation, I've set myself 5 questions related to stepping up to our future role in reference to the environment, and 5 questions which I will answer. I hope, too, that you will respond as well. I couldn't think of a better way to encourage a conversation. So here they are, and then let's converse. So question 1, as creative artists, what is our special gift? By stepping up, what can we offer? Now, as a background to my answer, I see artists as conceiving of or identifying aesthetic relationships and expressing them as artefacts. These artefacts, as aesthetic statements, invoke high-quality consequences for those who experience them. High-quality stimulation of the senses, excitation of the intellect, of high-level thought with moral and ethical overtones, and, of course, arousal of the emotions, usually powerfully so. Being sensitive or attuned to high-quality relationships, creative artists excel in the derivation of metaphor. They're competent at responding to complexity in the world because our training as creative artists, or lack of it, does not subscribe to any particular subject discipline. Our field is the aesthetic expression of ideas. And so my answer to question 1 is our special gift is the aesthetic expression of ideas. Question 2, question 2, what is the most important idea that creative artists could use their gift to address? And I couldn't think of anything more significant or urgent than addressing climate change, at least as a citizen in good health, well-fed, and not under any perceptible threat. Notwithstanding these provisos, anthropogenic climate change is the threat to the survival of our species. It is a category of problem that's difficult for species to address when the challenge to climate is geologically rapid. And it would be a wonderful thing if every creative artist had a climate change portfolio. Question 3, how can creative artists aesthetically communicate the idea of climate change to assist communities to address it? As creative artists, we need to consult with evidence-based knowledge generators, scientists, social scientists, and researchers in the humanities, custodians of cultural heritage, and with those who have acquired local knowledge over the long term. We should be appreciative, too, of our own intuition. We need to communicate by exhibiting, publishing or posting our aesthetic statements, preferably in concert with related events. We need to engage with both the public and public policy makers, and broker through art an enhanced relationship between them. Creative artists can change the climate for communities for the better. In summary, my answer to question 3 is to collaborate, create and exhibit in concert, and to engage with the public and public policy makers. Question 4. What could creative artists who work with clay do in particular? Well, I think artists who work with clay should continue to do their thing. But I suspect all artists who work with clay have made a vessel, a container, at some stage in their practice. Building on that commonality, I would like to suggest that ceramicists add to their practice the making of ceremonial vessels for the drinking of water. That's my answer to question 4. Please make ceremonial vessels for the drinking of water. Now, I'm not a ceramicist, but I have had a go at doing what I'm preaching. In 2003, I designed a plastic prototype to celebrate the International Year of Fresh Drinking Water. And here it is over here. Okay, it has a small bowl that holds a modicum of what is a precious resource. It requires 2 hands to drink from this vessel, and in a way that resonates with a reverential body language. Its shape also means that you have to drink very slowly, otherwise the contents will end up in your lap via your cheeks. The rim is exaggerated so that you can actually see the water as it trickles to your lips. Beautiful. So that vessel was designed to deliver water with due reverence. 80 of them were made by a colleague of mine, Tim Wetherell, pardon me, and were used at an international gathering to toast the International Year of Fresh Drinking Water. And here they are in use on that occasion. Now, a number of ceramic colleagues from the School of Art at the ANU have made ceremonial vessels for the drinking of water too, and from clay. In 2003, the following were exhibited. Sally Rasmussen, hand-moulded vessels for offering water to close friends. Anita McIntyre, cultural vessels, Lake Mungo series. Corinne Floyd, Confluence, Morning, Mongalo and the Shoalhaven, with clay hiking cups for drinking river water. Gail Nichols, a bowl for collecting rainwater. Janet DeBoos, Solitary Pleasures, water. There's an installation shot of the exhibition and a Ken Swanson vessel that required a finger in order to drink the water. My 5th question is, how could we step up right now? And I have a proposition to make. In fact, it's an invitation, and an invitation to walk the solar system. This is a walk in Mexico, just near the United States border. Walking the Solar System is the title of a series of performance works initiated in 2001 and more extensively developed since 2011. Here I am walking the solar system at the end of the runway at Shepparton. To walk the solar system, one assumes a walking posture, aesthetically composed in an inspirational location, but at odds with gravity, giving the impression of walking into space. And you can walk the solar system almost anywhere. I'll give you a demonstration. There's always some trepidation in terms of a solar walk, but that's a part of it. I hope this cable... So by assuming a walking posture at odds with gravity, one is able to contemplate the fact that we are, in fact, moving through the solar system at 1,800 kilometres a minute. And since I've been here, I've probably travelled 450 kilometres. Okay, I'll wrap up. On occasions, the general public join in a solar walkout as a form of political protest against geoengineering, which was a mass community walk at the Two Fires Festival a couple of years ago. And here is a documentation of a group of a community group walking the solar system in protest of the rampant mining of coal. Now, you can do it can be put in a political context, but what I would like to suggest is that simply you can go on a group solar walk to contemplate the reality of traversing the solar system at approximately 1,800 kilometres per minute relative to the sun. And this is what I'm proposing that we might do. I'm in fact making an invitation that we gather as a triennale for an aesthetic introspective experience to appreciate the vast expanse of the universe, that Earth, to acknowledge that Earth is the only known planet capable of sustaining our humanity, and to consider the implications that this has for how we influence the planet's life-sustaining systems. The solar walker always comes home. This is the venue that I'm proposing, the Library Lawn. This is a simulation. These guys up the top are doing a brilliant job and spoiling it for everyone else. But this is a simulation of what I had in mind. We would have an axis going up the centre, and people who stand on the intersection of the axis would be responsible for getting everyone else in line, although there will be a human dimension to this, I'm sure, when we all get out there. And a colleague of mine, Magena, will be on the roof of the AD Hope building to document the situation. 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, as soon as the session finishes here, the idea is to go to the Chifley Lawn for a 1-minute contemplation of planet Earth in the solar system. I think it'll probably be wet, it might even snow, in which case we will have another plan in mind, so watch this space. Thanks very much.